Hi everyone, my name is Becca. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm here with my very late October wrap-up. Here we are. It's literally nearing the end of November, and I've just now been being able to sit down and film this wrap-up. So yeah. And I'm definitely losing light, so we need to get doing this very fast. I'm keeping interrupted while doing this video, so here we go. So October, I don't remember much of October at all. October was the month I was very sick. Some other stuff happened. I don't really want to go into that. And it just didn't really, leave a lot of time for reading. I really wasn't in the mood to read a lot. I tried to read as much as I could without, really forcing myself. So I did that. I did go see It Chapter 2, in October, and I enjoyed it. I thought the horror factor, the scary factor was really well done. That was like a 10 out of 10. But I felt like the story kind of fell flat towards the end. That's just me. A lot of people really loved it, and I agree, it was really good, and I really enjoyed it. But to me, I felt like the first chapter was better than the second. That's just me. I also watched The Haunting of Hill House on Netflix for the first time. I really enjoyed it. I can't wait for season 2. I was just hooked from the first episode. It was fantastic. I also watched at least I watched a few episodes of The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, which is also on Netflix. They're both Netflix originals, and I was really enjoying it. It wasn't like I wasn't enjoying it, and that's why I only watched a few episodes. But I just wasn't really in the mood to watch that one as much as I was to watch Haunting of Hill House. So I set that one aside so I can watch Haunting. And I also really want to watch You, which is also a Netflix original. And I need to watch that one before the second season comes out in late December. So I have a lot of watching to do and quite a bit of reading to do. Because October and November are definitely going to be my least reading months. October, you'll see I only read 8 books, and November, I'm hoping to make it to 10, but I'm not entirely sure if that's going to happen. Though if you have watched my reading update video, you will notice that I have quite a lot of plans for the weekend, so who knows, I might actually get to it. I might actually break double digits for this month. We'll see. So we're just gonna start with the backlist titles. Like I said, I only read 8 books. 5 of them being backlist and 3 being 2019 releases. I had 3 rereads, and the rest were all new to me. And I think that's pretty much it. I did read one from the library, which I'll talk about. That was a 2019 release. I'll talk about that in a little bit. We'll start with the backlist titles, though. And my only 2 5-star reads were both rereads, and they were, of course, part of the Throne of Glass series. We have Queen of Shadows and Empire of Storms. Absolutely love these books. I don't have to talk too much about these because you already know how obsessed I am with this series. I did read these for Sarathon that is still actually ongoing until the end of this month. But unfortunately I fell too behind to continue on. I only got to Empire of Storms, and I've read 50% of Tower of Dawn before I had to call it quits. Of course, I absolutely love this series. It's not like I'm not loving it. I just was, I don't know, I was really loving Tower of Dawn too, even though, with Kale and everything. I do feel like the second half of Tower of Dawn is much better than the first half. And, of course, I only got to the middle portion, so I haven't even gotten to the second half yet. But I couldn't keep reading. I was trying to read other books, and I just felt like I wasn't reading a lot, and I was reading very little of Tower of Dawn. To just keep going. I just ended up putting it aside and hoping to pick it up. I'm hoping to finish that book in December, and then finish and like reread Kingdom of Ash in January, and then I can finish off the Throne of Glass series, my rereads of the series, for the new year. Because I did decide to do a ranking video for the Throne of Glass series to see which one is my favorite, which one's my least favorite, and where everything else falls in. And I do want to still make that video, so we'll see how that goes, but it's probably not going to happen until January when I finish Kingdom of Ash. So, like I said, these are both 5 stars, my only 5-star reads for October. So, yeah. And then my other reread is Retribution by Sherilyn Kenyon. I can't tell you where this falls in with the series. I don't even remember what number the series is. This is book number 20, I think. But yeah, this one follows Sundown. He is a relatively new Dark Hunter to us, to the readers. I think you see him in the last couple of books, I want to say. And then we follow his love interest, Abigail. Abigail, when she was very young, lost her parents. And she believes that Sundown was the one to kill him, or to kill them. And so she has teamed up with Daemons, who have taken her in. Daemons are the, evil vampires. And Dark Hunters are, the good vampires that kill the Daemons from hurting the humans. And so she has teamed up with Daemons to hunt down other Dark Hunters, just so she can get to her ultimate goal, which is Sundown. And she wants him dead. But then she ends up killing a very important person in the balance of good and evil. And now her and Sundown have to work together to stop everything that's going to happen because of what she did. And Sundown has to protect her in order for her to be present for this ritual that has to happen to restore the balance. And Abigail ends up finding out that possibly Sundown wasn't the one to kill her parents, and maybe she has been lied to all her life. So yeah, Sundown is an ex-gunslinger, and there is some Native American representation in this. And I believe Sundown is our first American. He's from Mississippi. So I want to say he's the first American. Everyone's pretty much ancient Greek. This is definitely set in America. We pretty much are focused in Louisiana. But we mostly have ancient Greek Dark Hunters or Roman. We don't really have an American, so it's nice to have that. And I thought this was really well done. Actually, I don't know if this is a reread. If I have read it, I read it a very, very long time ago and I remembered nothing about it. I'm going to say this was a reread and this will be my last. After this, everything will be for the first time, which I'm really excited to get to that part. If you remember when I was reading the In Death series, when I finally got to the part where I hadn't read, I finally hadn't read the books, I was just really excited for that. And of course, now in November, I haven't even picked up a Dark Hunter book yet. I've been trying to, but I've been really busy, and all the other books I'm trying to read, I haven't been able to make time. But I'm really happy to finally get to this, and 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. And then for another 4-star read, I read Archangel's Consort by Nalini Singh. This is the 3rd book in the Guild Hunter series. We follow Elena, who's a vampire hunter, and Raphael, who's an archangel, and they fall in love. It's so amazing. Archangels make vampires, and then this one archangel ends up going kind of insane and hunting down other humans, and Raphael enlists the help of Elena in order to stop this archangel from pretty much destroying the world. And that's the first book. So it all goes from there, and I really love the series. I gave this one 4 stars. I love the first book the most out of the 3 that I've read. And I believe the next book doesn't follow Elena and Raphael. I believe it follows a different character that we know. I might be wrong, but I don't know. I could be right. I don't remember what that book is called, though. It's Archangel something, It's book number 4. So I have to pick that one up. I haven't picked it up yet. So we'll see how that goes. But so far so good. I am really enjoying those books. And then for the last backlist title and my only 3-star, these freaking chihuahuas. Every time. For my last backlist title and my only 3-star read, that is Small Spaces by Katherine Arden. I really love Katherine Arden's other series, the Bear and the Nightingale trilogy. But this is her first foray into middle grade, and it definitely gave you like the creepy factor. I listened to this on audiobook, which might not have been the way to go for this book. I also listened to it at a time when I was just very sick. So we follow Ollie, who is our main character, and she ends up witnessing a woman about to throw a book in the river, and she stops her, and she takes the book home, and she ends up starting to read it. And then the book, by the way, is called Small Spaces. She ends up going on this field trip to this farm, and when she gets there, she sees things that are kind of familiar and kind of things that she's sort of remembering from the book that she's now reading, and things just kind of go really creepy from there. And it really has to do a lot with scarecrows. Okay. I did enjoy it. I think I'm going to give this a reread just because I was reading this at a time when I was just really sick. It really wasn't the best time to read this. And I did listen to the audiobook, which might not have been the way to go for this. So I am going to try and give this a reread maybe, next year sometime. I probably won't wait till October again for this because I did try and keep this for Halloween. Try and give me like a spooky vibe. But I might not wait again. I might just pick this up maybe early next year. And then try and pick up the second book. See how it goes. So yeah, I gave this 3 stars. It was fine. Hopefully with a reread it might be better. We'll see. Alright, so then for books that I read for books that came out in 2019. We first have Bloom. This is my library book. And it was a graphic novel. The author is Kevin Pineda, and the illustrator is Savannah Gunucho? Gunucho? I have no clue. This one's hard. We follow Ari, who his family owns this bakery, and Ari does not want to help run this bakery. He plays music, he's in a band, and he wants to move in with his bandmates and play music. He wants to make it big, and his family really needs his help because, they're not doing so well. So he ends up putting up these help wanted posters around, and he gets the help of Hector, who I believe went to school. I believe he went to culinary school. I could be wrong. And Hector really loves to bake, and he really needs a job, so it's perfect for him. So he ends up, taking the job of being this baker for this bakery, and him and Ari become really good friends and possibly something more, and it's just a really cute male-male romance, and I give it 4 stars. I really did enjoy it. Just to let you know though, for that, it is very monotone. It's one color. It's all blue, and normally I don't really like that. Normally I am more of like, either give me full color, like, different colors, or just give me black and white. But for that, it actually really worked, and I did not mind the blueness of it. Alright, so for the last 2 books, we have Serpent and Dove by Shelby Mahurin. This is all about a witch and a witch hunter who end up being trapped in this marriage. So we have Louise, or Lou, who left her family. She's a witch, and she left her home and her family behind, and she moved to I believe it's just to France. It's the city of Cesarine. I believe that's in France. I could be wrong. So she moves to the city, which is full of witch hunters. And she's in hiding. And she ends up meeting Reed, who is a witch hunter, or a chasseur. And things aren't going really well for her. She ends up being on the run from him, pretty much. And then when they meet up again, she pretty much traps him into a marriage. It's quite funny how that works. and they end up having to get married, and then they kind of fall in love, you know. They start to develop feelings for each other. It's really cute. I really, really enjoyed it. I gave this 4 stars. This is the first book of a series. I don't know if it's going to be duology or trilogy or whatnot. But I really enjoyed this first book. I will say the ending kind of lost me a little bit. I was really, really enjoying it until like the very end, where I just wasn't loving it as much. But I'm hoping with the second book it'll pick up again, and I'll really, really enjoy it. And now with, you know, my characters just being full blown, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. So yeah, I gave this 4 stars. I really enjoyed it, and I can't wait for the sequel. And lastly, I read Teeth in the Mist by Dawn Kurtagich. This is my first of Dawn Kurtagich's writing, first of her books, and it's her newest book. This one just came out, I believe, in June or something like that. And this is very horror-esque. We follow 3 different girls, 3 teenagers, and 3 different timelines. Oh, sorry. And, so it all revolves around this mill house, okay? So at the very beginning, we follow this monk who, has gone to this land. He's learned the devil's tongue, and I believe he's trying to summon the devil, and that's, like, pretty much how it's going. So yeah, he ends up summoning the devil. And then we follow, Rowan, who is from, who lives in 1851, and her father has just passed, and she's being sent to this mill house, and she's one of 3 wards there. And she ends up learning that, they're all pretty much connected in some way. And this mill house might not be a really good place. Then we also follow Zoe, who lives in modern time, and her father visited this mill house. I believe he was, like, he doesn't really remember much, but I believe his birth certificate said that he was born in this mill house, but they don't really know how. It's a lot of mystery surrounding this. And Zoe, you know, her father has gone to this mill house, and when he's back, he's gone insane. He's losing memories left and right. He doesn't really remember anything. And Zoe is just fascinated by this, and she also wants to learn what happened to her father. So her and her friend end up traveling to the mill house to figure out what's going on. And then finally we have Hermione, who lives in 1583, and with her we only get like journal entries, so we don't get much from her. But she has just gotten married, and her and her husband end up moving to the wilds of North Wales in order to build a mill house there. In this patch of land. So, yeah. It all revolves around this mill house, around this land, and a devil. And 3 teenagers throughout time. It's just, it's so interesting, and it's got a lot of mixed media as well. Kind of show you, like, a little bit, you know, you can see, like, stuff like that. Oh, stuff like that, you know. Like, it's very mixed media. With Zoe's chapters, it's all told in, like, text form, or, like, journal entry, or, she also has, because she's a photographer, so when her camera is on, it has camera footage, and that's also part of her, like, you know, how her story is told, or her chapters are told. And then we have Rowan, which is, like, standard, but then also, oh, and also we have these pictures, too. These creepy, really creepy pictures. And this is how I kind of wanted Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children to, you know, to kind of give me, like, these horror-esque feelings. Like, I was really scared throughout most of this. Like, I was just really into it. There's a certificate of death in that one. Oh, man, I really love this mixed media format. And then, oh, man, so there's, like, that kind of page. I'm trying to show you, with Rowan, oh, here we go. So, her chapters. So, you could see all of that, right? You could see that really clear. If you look right at it, it's all backwards. You can only read that in a mirror or on a camera or something. And that's how her, some of her passages are when she's writing notes to her father and stuff like that, even though her father is dead. So I don't know how that goes. But yeah, it's really creepy, really good. The only thing I have to say is that once we got maybe like 60 to 75% of the way in, I was really invested and really creeped out through most of it. But once we got around to that, you know, once we got to around there, I started to lose interest. I don't know, things just started to kind of go downhill, and I was just like, what's going on? What's happening? And then we also have, this isn't a standalone. I was kind of hoping for a standalone. But once I got like 75% in, I was like, there's way too much to be finished in this one book. So we're definitely going to get a book 2. And I'm totally going to read it because I got to know what's going on. But I will say, like, this was totally a 5-star read for me. This was totally going to be a 5-star read. But once, once I got to there, I was like, yeah, I think this is going to end up being... Oh, here's a picture of Rowan, by the way. Like, that's the picture of Rowan, which I thought was really neat. I ended up giving this 4 stars. I really enjoyed the first 75%. Like, I was so invested. But it just was not going to be a 5. I thought about giving it like a 4.5, but like I said, that last 25% really didn't do it for me. So, we're going to see how book 2 goes. I am still going to read book 2 because I'm very interested in what's happening. So yeah, that's it for me today, guys. That was my wrap up. Those were all the books that I read. I really did have a really good reading month for October, even though I didn't read as much. I only had 1 3-star read, and the rest were 4 and 5 stars. That's pretty decent. I can't complain of that. So yeah, that's it for me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you again in another. Bye. Happy reading.